Yeah. Testing. No? Tested already? Okay. Good to go? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this roundtable in the scope of the Empower Care project. What's going on with you people? Okay. Anyway, welcome all the of you that came live and all of those who are possibly online. I don't know if they are. This is a roundtable as part of the Empower Care project, where we are focusing on volunteers in long-term care and volunteer mentors in long-term care. I have here a whole line of guests. I will start with Susana Quiroga from Portugal. I will not try to pronounce the name of her institution because I won't. Nicola Yao from Ireland. Luka Omladič from the Institute of Solidarity Future. Is that the term?
Ministry.
Ministry. I said, okay, sorry, yeah. But Solidarity Future is okay?
So, yes, it's Ministry for Solidarity. Yes.
Barbara Purkart from the care home of Fužine. So this is her home base. And Tereza Novak, an MP in the Slovenian parliament. First, we will ask something of Barbara, who works in the care home. The care homes have been around forever, or for as long as we can remember, perhaps not forever, but there's increased stress on employees, on lack of employees, on lack of personnel, for care personnel, and also increased need for volunteers, not to supplement the employees, the employee work or the staff work, but to make the homes livable. So I would like to ask you, Barbara, if you feel this is one of the reasons that you feel the need to reach out to the community more than previously in the previous years.
Hello to everybody, and welcome to Fužine. I guess the answer to this question is not simple. It never is. I would say that our environment has changed. Also, the role of the families has changed. Children are still employed from our residents. Also, women in Slovenia are employed and they have their careers, which is good, because why should we always be the women, the ones who carry the burden of help for the families? But also the connections, the human connections have changed. We are not so strongly connected with people are not so much connected in different sports, humanitarian or cultural societies. Years before, one of the questions when the person came to our home was, in which societies are you? Because it was the usual thing that somebody was a member of Red Cross, somebody was a member of this society, culture of this society. And volunteers and members of these societies were frequent visitors of our people in the home. And now we don't ask people anymore so much, in which societies they are, because times have changed. And of course, it's also true that the professionals in long-term care primarily focus on medical and nursing care, the basic daily support. But our residents, if you would ask them, besides physiotherapy and work therapy, they need attention. They need personal dedication of people, and volunteers are really very, very quality people who come because they want to, they have desire to help other people, and they are ideal persons to pair with our residents. So maybe the question, the answer would be that before we didn't really have volunteer was a person who just came as she or he liked, and it was different, and also it was connected with different societies. And now the volunteering is more organized, and we also have mentors if we are lucky, and a lot of things are changed. And yes, of course, I would also stress that we don't have enough employees, and they don't have enough time to make these human connections and to take time for to talk, to listen mainly.
Thank you, Barbara. Next question is for you, Nicola. The care home in Ireland that we had the chance to visit is one. I'll ask you if you could tell us a bit about this symbiosis that in your home between the staff, the beneficiaries, the residents, volunteers, and the families. And what did it take to make it work for you?
Okay, dobar dan. It's the extent of my Slovenian, but thank you for doing this in English. I'll just say that what we have found is that you really do need to have a designated person to support a volunteer program. And I've been very lucky in that is my sole job. Prior to me coming to St. Joseph's, and my colleague Siobhan is here, and she was the inspiration for getting the funding for my role to begin. And she knew the value that volunteers could bring to any home, but particularly our home. It allows staff to focus on their duties, but it also allows residents to make friendships, to really connect, and those engagements that we see every day between volunteers and between the residents just make my job so worthwhile, and that's where I get great satisfaction from it. The report that you mentioned is on the table there. It allowed us to carry out research to prove the impact of the program, because I suppose similar to yourselves, the funding is not all there, and it just has shown the impact of the volunteer program, the connections that it makes for residents, but also for their family members. We had a family member that said, "Nobody asked me how I was doing until my loved one moved to St. Joseph's, and I was hiding behind the hall door for 5 or 6 years." So the impact for family members has been huge, because the feedback on the research was that I don't need to worry now. I don't need to feel so guilty. I know that my loved one has people coming in to volunteer that will spend time with my family member. And it also has alleviated a lot of the stress maybe and the burnout that there may be there for staff members as well. So the feedback from staff members was also really positive too. And the volunteers themselves shown in the research that it has, volunteering is good for you, and that it helps in terms of mental health and well-being, and also just our home is a home for 60 people who are living with dementia. So it also improves knowledge of dementia. So the feedback of the survey showed that the knowledge around dementia for volunteers was higher in many cases than maybe staff members or family members. So altogether, it has worked really well. It has allowed us also to reach out to our community. So we have a memory cafe, we have a community cafe that is run by volunteers. During COVID, we were able to facilitate visits for family members and residents because of the power of volunteering. We would not have been able to do that otherwise. So it has made a huge difference. I can't really talk about before my time, but I suppose Siobhan might be able to. But it has made a huge difference, and we can see that every day.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. Just perhaps because people like numbers, how many volunteers and how many residents do you have?
So we have 60 residents. Currently, we also have a day centre. So there's 45 people that come to our day centre. There's 2 people that come and stay with us for 2 weeks at a time on respite. And we have, at the moment, 120 active volunteers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is our,
But we are very unique in Ireland. I have to say, we would like to see the same happen in Ireland, but across the EU as well. And it really does take the investment because it's only my job. That's all. I don't have to worry about other things. And before that, it was very ad hoc. It was part of somebody's job. So it's really essential that there is a designated person to be able to facilitate and support.
thank you. So this is our cue for the next topic. You won't have to talk now. The mentorship of volunteers, which is something that we have been advocating for decades, I think. It feels like decades anyway. It's been included in strategies in Slovenia, in strategies of volunteering and NGO, and never really happened in public institutions. We're experiencing technical difficulties, apparently. And need to wait 3 minutes, yeah?